I'm going to walk you through what your first public access outings with your service dog puppy should look like, probably the first few. When picking a location, you want to pick something close, something pet friendly, but hopefully at a time that dogs are not there. So pick something in the mid-morning on a weekday if possible. You're going to bring way more treats than you think you need. You're going to bring your dog on a flat collar on a 4-foot leash. When you get to the location, I want you to park in the back of the parking lot where there is less people, and you are going to practice your dog getting out of the car first. Of course, you should have already practiced your car skills at home, but we're going to assume that you've done that. You are going to stand outside of your car and let your puppy sniff around. I mean it, just outside of your car, let your puppy sniff around and just wait. Wait for them to choose you. You are going to wait for them to choose you because they will probably need to decompress, and before you can begin, they need to make the choice to check into training. When they do choose you, that's going to look like looking at you, sitting next to you, turning around and walking back your direction. Anytime they make any one of those little choices, you are going to mark and reward. If they choose to disengage right after you mark and reward, let them. It is their choice to be here. Let them sniff around, let them decompress some more. If it takes more than about 2 minutes, I would just call it a day, get back in the car, go home, and do some more training at home with focus work. But let's assume after a minute your dog was like, okay, I've done all my snipping, what do you want from me? They're sitting next to you, after you give them a treat, they're still paying attention to you, looking at you. You're gonna start walking around the parking lot. You're just going to ask for them to check in with you. They don't necessarily need to be on a loose leash, but they can't be running amok. They're not going to be jumping on anything, stuff like that. Oh, hello. Okay, hello. For this outing, we have just 2 goals. The goals are focus on you and don't run amok. Remember that we are keeping these sessions short and sweet, so if you have already been in the parking lot for about 5 minutes, just do some training in the parking lot, wrap up, and go home. That's totally fine. You're meeting your puppy where they're at. Your first few public access outings should be under 10 minutes. If they are focused on you and not running amok in the parking lot, you're going to go by the front door. And you're going to practice right outside the front door, especially if it's a sliding door. We want to make sure that your service dog is very used to that. I personally like to just sit outside the door, not necessarily walk them back and forth at first. Let them watch people go in and out, watch the doors open and close, and once again, if they are paying attention to me and not running amok, they may be ready to go through those doors. Once they go through the door, I'm going to find somewhere right in the front of the store where I am out of the way. It's not necessarily right next to the entrance, but close enough to the entrance that we are seeing a lot of commotion going around. And we're going to make it boring. We're just going to stand there, and once again, we're just asking for focus and for them not to run amok. Alright, so let's assume that you spent 3 minutes in the parking lot, 3 minutes outside the door, and 3 minutes inside the door. You are at 9 minutes, honey. Let's wrap it up and go back home. You guys did fabulously, and yes, you did enough training right there. It was the perfect amount for a young dog to do service work, and congratulations.